A national report on the well-being of children throughout the United States shows Rhode Island ranks in the middle of the country, last in New England, though. And tonight we're getting some more details on this. So joining us live in the studio right now is Elizabeth Burke Bryant. You're the executive director of Rhode Island Kids Count. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me over.
So let's talk a little bit about these numbers here. We're 26th in the nation overall for child well-being. We're behind all the other New England states, so tell me a little bit about what goes into these ratings.
Well, the Annie E. Casey Foundation, which is a major national children's foundation, every year releases a report on the status of the nation's children. It compares Rhode Island to the rest of the country. And so what they do is they take 16 different issues and they see how all of the states stack up on these individual issues. Then they roll the numbers together and come out with an overall ranking. And as you said, we're 26th in the country, which is the middle of the pack.
And, you know, we improved on some things as we talked about, but other things we didn't. So can you tell me what kind of changed from year to year?
Well, yes, and I think that it's really important to note that of the 16 indicators that were issues that they track, Rhode Island improved on 11 of them since last year. We worsened on 4 of them, and we stayed the same on 1. So it's always a mixed bag in terms of how are we doing. Even if we're improving as a state, some of the other states might be going even further and in a more positive direction, in which case it affects our overall ranking.
And you talk about a state that's moving in a positive direction. This really grabbed my attention. Massachusetts ranked #1 in the entire nation. They're just, I mean, they're right on the other side of the border with us. So what did they do to become #1?
Well, yes, this is a 50-state ranking, and Massachusetts came in #1. So we congratulate them, but we're very competitive and we want to catch them. So I think what it means is that we know what works in order to improve child well-being. So as we break the report down in terms of children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety, we can use this report as a roadmap to show us where are we doing better, where are we staying the same, and where do we really need to sound the alarm bell.
And what are some of those things we can do to improve when we sound the alarm bell?
Well, one of the things that I always like to report on is that when it comes to children's health, Rhode Island really has been leading the way. We're among the top states in terms of making sure our children have access to health care. That's preventive health care. We are seeing a very good number in terms of that tragic statistic of child death and teen death. And we're seeing improvements in terms of children and substance abuse, teenagers using alcohol and drugs. In the education arena, the ones where we're seeing improvement, which is encouraging, is that we're seeing more children with access to preschool, which is so important for school readiness. We're seeing gradual improvements in 4th grade reading and 8th grade math. In terms of a couple of the ones going in the wrong direction, I would say that the one that really stands out is really tied to our economic situation in Rhode Island. The percentage of children whose parents have secure employment has gotten worse, and I think that's probably tied to our still high employment rate.
So clearly a lot goes into these numbers, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio, Elizabeth. We appreciate it. And Eyewitness News reporter Madeline Wright actually sat down with you a little bit earlier and was able to get more into this story. We're posting a link to that story on our website. You can also read a report for Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Just go to our website. It's WPRI.com.